Black Panther is the 18th film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It is directed by Ryan Coogler and it stars Chadwick Boseman, Michael B. Jordan and Lupita Nyong'o, as well as a lot of other African American actors. And this film, well, the easiest comparison to it has to be Wonder Woman for a multitude of reasons. Only that this one is actually a pretty darn good movie. Dare even say a great movie. And if you've been following this channel, I'm not the biggest fan of superhero films. I try to watch pretty much every one of them. I loved them as a child, but in recent years they've just become tiring. The same thing over and over again. Especially visually speaking, they lack any sort of punch, any sort of memorable and well-made things. But we've had some great ones, pretty much one a year recently, like Deadpool, like Logan. And honestly, this year, Black Panther might be the best superhero film of the year. And a lot of it has to do with what it actually is. It is a very African-American, very African movie with pretty much almost an all-black cast, with some of the best actors of yesteryear as well. We've got Angela Bassett and Forest Whitaker in the supporting cast, and there are also a couple of white folks, mainly Martin Freeman and Andy Serkis. And Andy Serkis plays one of the two villains of the film, and it's just a joy to watch. He's chewing the scenery up and it's magnificent. And Martin Freeman actually has a bigger role than I was expecting him to have, and I actually quite liked him in this film. And honestly, the entire cast is amazing. They all do a great job. Michael B. Jordan as the villain Killmonger is pretty good, probably one of the best villains of the MCU. And again, this is coming from someone who rarely uses superlatives when talking about superhero films, but this one was impressive. I went in with low expectations, mostly due to how tired I am of these films, but it surprised me. There are a lot of great things. The only real negatives that I have, I'm gonna get them right out of the way first. First of all, Black Panther himself, Chadwick Boseman, or how the character is written, I don't know whose fault it is, but it's kind of boring. He's borderline a no character. Even though there is a small arc for him during the film, it's not all that interesting, which is a shame, honestly, because the rest of the supporting cast are fantastic. You've got the sister, who is hilarious, and she's a genuinely smart person. You've got his love interest, played by Lupita Nyong'o, who knows how to handle herself. You also have Danai Gurira from The Walking Dead. She plays Michonne there, and she steals the show. She's badass. And a lot of women, especially in this film, are badass. Those three especially, but I was quite surprised by a lot of other things. The music, I kind of hated the music in the trailers for this film. It felt out of place, but actually hearing it in the context inside the film, it worked incredibly well. It gives a lot of energy to the picture and to the action sequences, and the action itself, some of the best in MCU to date. It's different, it's well choreographed, very similar to Coogler's previous film Creed. It has weight, it feels heavy. And then unfortunately we have the third act, which is usually the worst part of any of these Marvel movies, and here it's not the worst part, it's just the weakest aspect of it, because it becomes CGI overload with a lot of CGI. Not as much as other Marvel movies, thankfully, but it felt a little bit underwhelming, especially if you probably watched some of the clips, like on late night television, whatever, of Black Panther. The fight between Killmonger and Black Panther himself, when there is the train, I did not like the sequence. It's not a nice setting, it's not particularly nicely executed. It sounds weird to say, but it just didn't feel right. But everything else surrounding it, with Martin Freeman and the other people fighting, that was all great. And this film, the first part especially, I truly adored. It is, as many people have said, it becomes a spy film, it becomes a James Bond film, and with an incredible car chase, and even some nice humor. It's not as heavy as in other Marvel movies, and it works here for the most part, of course. But yeah, I was shocked by how much I like this film. The story itself is similar to something like The Lion King in certain aspects, even visually speaking, but it is a movie that means so much because I've always said that I was always against the Oscar so white and whatever, not in the sense that we don't need diversity, it's just that there haven't been enough great movies some years to deserve to achieve some sort of recognition. So thankfully we recently had like Beast of No Nation and last year's Get Out, Moonlight, which even won. So Black Panther is another one of those films. It is diverse, and the diversity is the greatest aspect of it. It's what makes the film truly memorable, especially from the visuals, from the costumes, from the setting. It is an African movie, and that is just so different, so well executed. You can feel the passion from the actors to everyone else who worked it on a technical side. And the only, well, not only a negative, but the recent Ugandan Knuckles meme, it ruined most of the dialogue in this film, because almost every 5 minutes someone says way, only that they say it in an African accent, and it's because like the Ugandan Knuckles, do you know the way? I couldn't keep that aspect out of my head. It was terrible. It ruined way in every way, shape or form that meme, but thankfully it's dead. And honestly guys, Black Panther deserves to be watched. I was shockingly surprised by how much I actually liked it. Nice story, great acting, great direction, nice cinematography from the same DP of Mudbound, who was also nominated for an Academy Award, the first female cinematographer to be nominated. Honestly, great soundtrack. Some of the visual effects, some are nice, some are not also nice, but the costumes are great, the sets are great. So honestly guys, even if you haven't watched any of the other MCU movies, I definitely recommend you check out this one, because it works as a standalone film. Is it one of the best ones? Honestly, yeah, I'd say, because it's so standalone that it makes it great, it makes it refreshing, it makes it different, so definitely go watch it. But still guys, if you watched Black Panther, do you like or do you dislike it? Tell me in the comments below. So thanks for watching. If you like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.